how in the world do you actually get people to do something? How do you persuade them to take action, to buy your stuff, to sign you up, to hire you, to do whatever it is? Like, right now we've got children that are in the dating and marriage age. It's like, how do you get someone to agree to go on a date with you and to marry you? You might not be in that situation, but all of us as writers, we have this question in our mind about how do we actually persuade people to do something. And I'm so excited. I want to share with you a very simple model that I call the human persuasion model. Now look, I just barely got done doing the first session of a new program, not even released yet. I've got a live core group, a beta group that I'm doing, a charter group if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. I've got a small group of people that I'm walking through this with. It's a brand new program I've developed, and it's basically called Profit, and it talks about high leverage marketing secrets, and it allows you as a writer to understand how a marketing system and funnel works, and it allows you also as the writer to understand how a marketing funnel and process works on a bigger scale. So think about this. If a client comes to you and says, hey, will you do an email for me? Then you can look at that email, you can see where it fits in the bigger picture, and you can say, well, it looks like you need an email and a landing page and an opt-in page and a sales letter and whatever. And it expands your opportunity horizon, expands your ability to do stuff. So that's why I'm putting this program together, so that you can have your vision expanded and you can see dozens and dozens of more opportunities. I have told the story many times, but I had a client come to me one time. They had $500. That was it. They only had $500 to spend, no more. And they needed a couple emails written. And I looked at that, what they were doing, and I saw this process here, and I knew how to persuade them because I understood this human persuasion model that I'll talk with you about in just a minute. And I understood the bigger marketing picture of what was going on. And so I said, sure, I'm happy to do the $500 project, the couple of emails. And you know what? Because I understood opportunity awareness and the bigger picture and how the sales funnel worked, I was able to become a consultant for them and a writer for them. And I took that $500 and turned it into $250,000. Now that's a pretty good upsell, right? But I've done that over and over and over again. I had one client who said that they would like me to help change up some of their content on their site. They were a Dutch company that had translated their own copy into English and was selling mostly to a US market. Then they asked me basically to Americanize their content, which I did. And the initial project was, I think it was less than $1,000. And because I understood the bigger picture, because I understood these high leverage marketing secrets and understood where they were doing with that content and with their web pages and with their sales letters and with their opt-in forms and with their videos, because I understood all of that, I was able to take that small little project for less than $1,000 and migrate that to a retainer gig for $5,000 a month plus commissions on stuff that we did later, and did that for years. That was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars for me as well. So I just thought, I'm putting this program together. I'm not going to walk you through the whole thing. Obviously, it's a multi-part course, but it's going to go into a deep dive of, high leverage marketing secrets. But today what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you the foundation for how all of it works, the foundation for everything there, and just walk you through some basics about how to get people to take action. And since I literally just finished this, you can see right here, this is the page that I walked them through. I went through each one of these different segments right here and talked about it. That's the basic high leverage model, and the program goes deep dive into there and gives the understanding. But the foundation of all of it, every single one of the steps, all three of the phases, every single one of these things is based on this human persuasion model right now, right here. What's the psychology of getting people to take action? How should you be writing your stuff? What key emotional triggers and drivers to purchase? What buttons should you be pushing inside their heart and inside their head? Let's walk through it. Again, since I've already filled this in because I just did this with my other class, I'm just going to point stuff out. You get a sneak peek and to get to read it, but it probably won't make a lot of sense until I give some details and some explanation on it. There's a lot of stuff here. We're going to go through it really fast. Grab a pencil and a paper and or a notepad or grab your Apple Pencil, whatever it is you've got. Like, you grab your thing to make notes with, because we're going to go through this fast, and this could transform the way that you write. It could transform the way that you think about persuasion. It could transform the way that you consult your clients. It could transform so much stuff like it has for me. So here it is. Here's the answer to the question about how do you get people to take action. Here we go. First off, the very first step number 1, is you have to fire what's called their RAS trigger inside their brain. RAS trigger. You maybe have heard me talk about this before, but the RAS stands for the reticular activating system. This is the part of your brain that controls attention. What do you pay attention to in our noisy, busy, congested world? What do you pay attention to? I discovered this when I was driving down the freeway in St. Louis. And there's, high rises and billboards and cars, and we're in this van, and there's children chattering and talking, and all this stuff's going on. And in the middle of all that, here I am driving down the road in the middle of all that noise and that confusion, all that data and all that stuff going on. All of a sudden, my head turns and focuses in on this sign on the side of the road. It wasn't even a big sign. It was a small sign, and it focuses in on this sign, and the sign says, Town and Country, city limits, population 12,800, whatever the number was. And of course I'm doing 70, 75 miles an hour. So I look over at that, my eyes focus in it, my whole brain gives attention to it, and then poof, gone. It's like zoom, gone. And I thought, what's the deal? Why did I pay attention to that sign? All the other things I could have paid attention to, why that sign? And I did a bunch of research and a bunch of study on this, and I found out that human beings, we all have this database inside of our brain that says this is important, pay attention to it. So why did the sign that said Town and Country grab my attention? It grabbed my attention specifically because I was driving a Town and Country minivan. So the words Town and Country registered in my brain as being important, and my brain unconsciously forced me to give attention to that sign because it was important to me. Those words were important to me. Now think about this. What if every headline you wrote, what if every video you did, what if every conversation you had, by the way, you won't do it every time because nobody's perfect, but what if you did that and you could grab people's attention, you could get them to listen to you, read, open your emails, your headlines, like what if all of that stuff immediately, consistently grab people's attention? Well, I'm telling you, you can do that by hijacking their very own brain. By talking about things that are automatically already important to them. That's where the human persuasion starts, because if you don't have their attention, you don't have anything. You cannot even start a conversation. How can you persuade them if you can't even get their attention? And the vast majority of writers are out there sending out emails, posting blogs that go into oblivion, the sales letters, the videos, everything. It just goes into oblivion. It disappears. It's like, oh, where'd it go? Well, it didn't go anywhere because it did not grab the target audience attention. It did not fire up the RAS trigger. That's step number 1. Now, once you've got their attention, every human being, you, me, every human being, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Russians, the Ethiopians, the Americans, the Brazilians, the whoever, anybody on planet, if you're at 98.6 and breathing and you're part of the human race, then the very first thing you do once somebody has your attention or something has your attention is you ask 3 specific questions. And you do it instantly, subconsciously, just like that. In fact, it's reported that when somebody hears something or sees something or experiences some kind of data input, then you and I make a judgment about these questions within less than a second. Usually it's within 40 milliseconds we begin making assessments and judgments on these questions. And then we continue to ask these questions and ask these questions. So what are the questions? First question is, I don't know if you can see this. First question is it safe? If I do this, eat this, smell this, touch this, go on this vacation, buy this thing, will it keep me at 98.6 in breathing? Will I still be able to be alive? Will I be able to be safe? Now, you're asking that because we have a prime directive to stay safe. You have to stay at 98.6 and breathe. It's essential. The second question is, will it help me grow? Will this help me grow? Will this help me become better? Will I get benefits from this? Look, we have a prime directive inside of us as human beings to grow and to become better and to do more and to have more. That's why you're watching this video, because somebody somewhere said, hey, I'm going to figure out technology that has videos and that can store the videos and play them later and transmit them around the world. You see, we're not monkeys or dogs or horses or cats. We're not comfortable just living and staying safe and living by instinct. We have to do something, right? Edmund Hillary, when he climbed Mount Everest, is like, people said to him, well, why are you climbing Mount Everest? He said, because it's there. Why do we go to the moon? Because it's there. It's a challenge. We want to conquer. We want to expand. We want to figure stuff out. That's prime directive inside of our brain. So we have to grow. So if you write something and it grabs somebody's attention and they feel like it's comfortable and it'll keep them safe, they're not going to die from reading your stuff, and it doesn't offer them any benefits, it doesn't show how they can grow, it doesn't show how they can add excitement or joy or happiness or whatever it is into their life, more of other stuff, then guess what? Then they will cancel the conversation, end the discussion. They don't want to talk to you anymore. So number three, the third question is belonging. The number one buying emotion is significance. Will this help me belong to something bigger than myself? Will this help me feel more important to my fellow human beings? Will this help me to be someone significant? Will I belong more to the human race? Will I belong more to my tribe? Will I belong, we said it, it's like we see this and we're like, okay, we want to belong. The number one buying emotion, the number one persuasion emotion is significance, to belong and to be seen as somebody important to other people. So does your product, does your service, the stuff that you're writing, does it help your clients, your buyers feel like they can belong? Does it help them grow and keep them to be safe? Now, we ask these three questions. All of us ask these three questions every single time you do anything. You're asking these questions over and over and over and over again. And if any time the answer is no on any of these, then you immediately hit the eject button and you're gone. And so are your readers, and so are your clients, and so are their customers. Gone, daddy, gone, they're gone. You have to answer these three questions appropriately and effectively inside of your copy. This is why, just on a little note, one of the most powerful things you can do is you can sit down and say, what are three reasons why someone would buy from me or hire me as a writer? And what are three reasons why somebody wouldn't buy from me or wouldn't hire me as a writer? And when you know those two things, then you have the answer to these questions. And then you can put that into your copy and answer your questions and resolve their concerns before they come up. And then you can persuade them. Now, the framework behind this whole thing is 4 major touch points. So the framework is absolutely vital. Again, you're seeing it here. Let me give you some quick explanation, then we'll wrap up. So number 1, do they trust you? Can you really deliver on the promise? So if you say this is safe and it'll help you grow and you're going to belong and have significance, if they see that, do they trust that you can deliver on this? Do they trust that? Do they believe that? Do they trust that that you can, that they will get the end benefits, that they actually will grow and that they will belong and that they will stay safe? Do they trust that? So trust is another thing. And here's an inside pro tip. Trust is always based on similarities. If you and I are similar, you're going to naturally think about trusting me more. Okay, so that's a really important point. Number 2 is confidence. So people say to me all the time, like, oh, Joshua, Like, I know you can be a successful writer because, you've got all this experience and you're so good at speaking and you've got these great writing skills and you've got these rugged good looks and these great big huge muscles and you have this amazing wife and this great family. Like, of course it's going to work for you. And people say that to me all the time, right? But then they're like, but I don't know if it's going to work for me. You relate to this? Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever wondered, come on. I know that all these other people are doing this. They're successful freelance writers and making bank, but I don't know if it'll actually work for me. I just don't know. And so if you have a question of confidence, at any point where there's a question of confidence, then you will opt out of the persuasion process. You'll say, I just am not sure that it's for me. I don't think so, not right now. And a lot of people have a question of confidence. They don't know. They believe that it's possible. They trust, but they're not sure that it can work for them. And you have clients who are thinking the same thing. Can I really afford you as a writer? And they've got customers thinking the same thing. Will this really be effective for me, right? I'm different. I'm unique. I'm whatever. And you have to answer this question in the persuasion process. Finally, the last one is leadership. So once people trust you and they know they'll be safe and that they'll grow and that they have belonging, they've answered all these other elements right here. They know that this is legit and they feel comfortable with this. But a lot of times people then step out of the conversation and they don't tell people what to do next. And you got to tell people what to do next because most of us are conditioned to wait for someone to tell us what to do. Not because we're sloths or we're idiots or whatever. It's just because this is society and the world that we live in. And so if you don't provide leadership and tell them exactly what to do, then they probably won't do it. And that's why we call this leadership, because you're leading out. You're pointing the way. You're like, hey, look, what we're going to do. I say this to my clients all the time. Hey, so here's what I think we should do next. And then I fill in the blank. Here's what I think we should do next. Why don't I put together a proposal for you? I'll send that off to you. I'll give you a couple days to review it. You review it. Get it back to me. In the meantime, I'm going to start doing some research. How's that sound? I've given them a step-by-step roadmap. They know exactly what we're doing next. There's nothing ambiguous about it. They know what the program, what the process is. So, RES triggers, grab their attention, make sure they're safe, help them to grow, show them that they belong and that they're going to be significant. Instill trust in them through social proof and proof points. Help them to feel confident also through social proof and giving them examples of how other people like them were able to get the benefits, were able to belong, be able to stay safe, etc. And then show them exactly what to do. Click on the button below. Fill out this form. Use your credit card. Go here. Do this. Give them leadership. Give them clear understanding about what they should do next. And if you'll follow this human persuasion model right here, my friend, then your writing will dramatically increase in its persuasion power. Your ability to land clients will dramatically increase in your ability. People will be excited to want to work with you. When you follow this model and implement these steps, then you won't have any trouble in terms of whatever your hopes and dreams are. Your relationships are going to get better. Your health is going to get better. Pretty much every factor in your life goes up when you have leadership ability and the ability to persuade people to work with you, to follow you, to hire you, to buy from you, to be friends with you, to fall in love with you, to marry you, whatever it is. Like when you have the ability to persuade, every factor in life goes up. Every key indicator in life goes up. I want you to have that. So put this to use, make the best of it. And you know what? If you think that you might like to know more about this high leverage leadership process and my upcoming new profit program, then search around for it. We'll give you some more information, but figure this stuff out. It's really, really powerful. So the next step for you is to start seeing the world through these eyes. See what captures your attention. See what you need to do to develop trust, how you need to help people feel safe and to grow and to belong and have confidence. And then think clearly about what next steps need to be. And if you'll do that, you'll dramatically increase your overall lifestyle. You'll just be aware of life at such a different level. So what should you do next? Now that you've seen this, what should you do next? Well, you should go deeper into the conversation. I've got a number of programs, my flagship program called Rise. If you're not part of that, it's time to do that. By the way, Rise people, get this as part of the program, the whole new program, you get part of it. So there's the Rise program, there's a Persuasive writing program. I go into in-depth detail about how to take this model right here and implement it into your writing. So how do you translate this into writing? Not just into marketing, but into writing. How do you translate this into writing? We go into lots of depth there. So go check out one of those programs. And if you're not on board with this yet, it's time. Isn't it time? It's time to grow, to become more, to have more, to do more, to be more, to stop living in fear and stress about what's going on out there, and to start focusing on and achieving your dreams. So hope you'll check it out. Go find the resources, and let's grow together. Talk to you soon. Bye now. Well, hello there, my friend. Joshua Boswell here. I hope you enjoyed that session. Hey, would you do me two specific favors? Number one, look around the page, find the subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you don't miss any of my latest training insights, tools, and resources for writers just like you to help them turn their writing skills into an amazing lifestyle. And number two, would you think about someone that you know that could use this training and go ahead and share this with them? You know, all of us know people are struggling with their writing business, and they want to live the writer's life. They want to have that career change. They want to make that shift. They want to go from the plateau where they're at into an amazing lifestyle, but they just not quite sure how. They wonder where all the clients are, and they're confused about what the step-by-step process is to achieve that. And so I want to invite you to share this channel with them so that they can get the insights and the tools that you've been enjoying. Now also, if you're somebody who has been following my stuff and you want more, and you want to know specifically how to increase your writing skills so that you can get more clients, so that you can have more confidence, so that you can enjoy a better lifestyle, and specifically not just increase your writing skills, but to become faster and more efficient at writing and more persuasive at writing, so that you can make more money and have more time. That's a major deal. Like, to have the lifestyle of your dreams, you gotta have time and you gotta have money. And if you don't have those two things, then it makes it really, really hard to have a great lifestyle. So if you've been wondering how specifically you can do that, I want to invite you to check out my latest program called Persuasive Writing Secrets. And now, here's the deal. I went around and I interviewed a bunch, dozens of marketing directors, business owners, agencies owners, people who were hiring writers, and I asked them very simply, like, what is it that you look for in a writer? What kind of skills, what kind of attitudes, what kind of attributes are you looking for when you hire a writer? And I got back some amazing answers. And what I did is I boiled it down. I realized that there were patterns there, and really they were looking for 5 specific writing skills. And there were 4 types of writing that just came up over and over again and again that basically all these companies were using. And I thought, man, if I can just boil this all down into a simple, concise system where I teach the 5 fundamental high-performance writing skills and give you the 4 templates that they're looking for, templates in the 4 categories of stuff that they're looking for, then you could write more effectively and you could write faster using all these tools. And so that's exactly what I've done. I call it the Persuasive Writing Secrets course, and I invite you to go ahead and check it out. Down here on the link below. If it's right for you, go ahead and get set up, and I'll see you in the next class. Now, if not, then go ahead and live life every single day to the fullest. Do all you can to fill your life with things that matter most to you so that you can have maximum enjoyment and happiness every single day of your life. Pleasure sharing with you. Again, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, share it with somebody else, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.